Hi there, everyone. My name is Christian Eschbach, and I know everything looks the same here because I haven't moved locations, I haven't changed clothes, I haven't done anything. I grabbed the next CD. Nativity in Black 2. I remembered when I did the Elton John reviews, I did them back to back. Now, both the Elton John albums were released at the exact same time as this cool little tribute back to back. This, however, was released 6 years later. That's right, 2000, when Nativity in Black 2 came out. And there's a lot of band differences in that 6 years. Now, we've got Godsmack, Machine Head, Static X, Megadeth, okay, so they carried over, System of a Down, Pantera, Primus, Slayer, Soulfly, Hed PE, Monster Magnet, and Busta Rhymes. Whoa, really? Let's get it. All right, so I'm just going to kick right into this album. The album opens up with Sweet Leaf being performed by Godsmack. Really dig the way that they got into this. It was a really good way to open up the album. I like that they even bothered to take the time and effort to do the cough. Really cool, you know. And they do the cough, but they do the cough a little differently. So it's really nice that way. Track 2, Machine Head, Hole in the Sky. I love Hole in the Sky. I do not like this version. I am not into Machine Head. I've never been into Machine Head. They're just not my type of music for the most part. I'm not even really much of a Godsmack fan, but they can do a good tune. After that, we get into Static X doing Behind the Wall of Sleep. Static X, yet another band I never really honestly got into. They were just kind of one of these subgenres of metal that just weren't my thing, not my cup of tea. Megadeth, Never Say Die follows that up. I had never heard the song Never Say Die, or I never heard it in its entirety prior to this Megadeth version. And the reason I never heard it in its entirety is it has the unfortunateness of coming from one of Black Sabbath's most overlooked and underrated albums, Never Say Die. Because of that, Mustaine even jokes around in here that when Megadeth used to perform that song, people would think it was an original. I love Never Say Die because Never Say Die is actually a Black Sabbath song that has this great boogie to it that you can get up to and you can dance absolutely no problem. It has got this beautiful, amazing dance vibe to it, man. If you can't dance, even the Megadeth version on here, the way they do it, if you cannot get up and dance to this song, 1, you got no rhythm. 2, you can't dance. 3, there's something wrong with you, man, because this song is good and fun. Like, even the most astute metalheads want to get up and boogie with this one a little. You know what I'm saying? After that, we go into System of a Down covering Snowblind. I like that they took it, they made it their own. I like that they played with it. I like that they had some fun with it. I'm not a huge System of a Down fan. Talented beyond belief, every which way around. Just not quite my thing. But still really good and enjoyable. And their version of Snowblind is not, it's not as good as the original. It's not going to be as good as the original. You know, you're going to be hard pressed to be as good as the original. But it is still really good. From there, we go into Pantera doing Electric Funeral. Okay. First off, I enjoy Pantera. I own Pantera. I enjoy Pantera. I'm not a Pantera fan, but I do enjoy Pantera. The reason I'm not is too much screaming. But Pantera, when they cover Black Sabbath, now, and they were supposed to do there was talk they were going to do an entire Black Sabbath cover album at one point. I really wish they had, because they have never covered Black Sabbath in a way that I haven't loved it. And I mean, just absolutely, thoroughly loved it. They did Planet Caravan on the Far Beyond Driven album. Oh my God. I was floored by it. Like, it was just spectacular the way they did it. And then you've got Electric Funeral on here, which is like, whoa, really? I mean, they just give it, and they give it good. And I mean, good. And then there's even their cover of Hole in the Sky, which ended up on their Greatest Hits album. And whoa, very close to meeting and beating the original on that one. Now, Electric Funeral, once again, still not going to meet the original version. But, damn, man, they bring it home on that one. From there, we go to Primus with Ozzy doing N.I.B. I kudoed the Ugly Kid Joe version of N.I.B. And, you know, that was really nice. Les Claypool on the bass, baby. Now, I would have loved to have heard Les sing it as well, because I like when Les does stuff like this, does covers like this. And Ozzy being on here is cool, and I'm sure everybody really loved working with Ozzy, and Ozzy was fine going in, blah. But Primus in general, underrated musicians and highly overlooked musicians. Primus is the 90s. When Frank Zappa died, Primus came in. I don't want to say took Frank's place, but at least picked up the torch and kept the torch moving. High praise for Primus, but they deserve it. You know, Les Claypool is to bass what Frank was, I think, to guitar, you know, and much love and peace to both. So I would have liked to have heard Les do the vocals on here. Ozzy doing it's great. The whole way around, you have one of the best set of musicians covering one of the great songs, you know, so you cannot go wrong. After that, we get into Slayer doing Hand of Doom. I'm not a Slayer fan, which is really funny, because if you knew me in high school, I had one Slayer shirt I owned, and I owned the one Slayer shirt because it was bought for me as a gift. I wore t-shirts. I never owned a Slayer album. I was never a Slayer fan. I'm still to this day not a Slayer fan. It's just because I don't particularly dig that style of music. When it comes down to the thrash metal movement, yes, I like Metallica. Yes, I like Megadeth. But Megadeth is a little, depending on which album, is a little too thrash, or annoyingly thrash, or cliche thrash. And Metallica, I like because they had riffs. They had really good meaty hooks, you know? Like, you would get into a Metallica song. Slayer, you got to be into that type of music. And, you know, and lots of people I know are. My buddy Drew, biggest metal person I know, listens every range of the metal, basically. And he's a Slayer person, without a doubt. I bought him a Kerry King vinyl pop. That, you know, he's a Slayer guy. So he's not a vinyl pop collector. I just saw Kerry King and went, hey, he needs to have that, because he used to play a Kerry King signature guitar, even, you know, like, so he's a Slayer guy. So I've had my Slayer exposure. I'm just not a Slayer fan. Hand of Doom, they do a great job of it. It really is a great job. I'm not huge on the vocals. That's always one of my biggest things that are a throwback for them, but still, good times. After that, we get to Soulfly, Under the Sun. So Soulfly is interesting, because Soulfly, if I remember correctly, is Max Calavera, who was in Sepultura, left, went solo, did Soulfly. Soulfly is supposed to be a little more funk influenced, or a little more, you know, influenced through different styles of music besides just metal. Or maybe it was reggae. I don't remember what it is. I'll have to look it up and check the screen here. Now, not my thing, not huge, but not bad. I like this interpretation, but it's definitely not my version of Under the Sun. After that, we go into Hed PE doing Sabbra Cadabra. I love Sabbra Cadabra. Absolutely love it. The original version is fantastic. That love it. Metallica is the only band I've ever heard cover it that I actually enjoy their version of it. But Metallica took an interesting approach with it with their cover. This version is interesting as well, and I actually kind of dig what they do with this. This is definitely a much more experimental kind of song. The way they're dealing with it, it's cool. It's cool. After that, we go into Monster Magnet, Into the Void. Monster Magnet is one of those bands that I think, because of when they came out, kind of got lost a little in the shuffle. Really cool. I remember them getting some major radio play, but just not quite enough to push them all the way over. And when you get into the Void, I dig Into the Void. Into the Void was actually one of the few first Sabbath album cuts I really got into, really started digging. And this version of it, they have so much fun with it. You can hear that they're having fun with it. It's really good that way. So as I go on, I really hope you guys have all enjoyed me filming here, because chances are I am never filming in this location again. Oh my God, it's driving me up the wall. I have to keep stopping. Every stop I have had to make is because someone else is making noise in the house. Okay, carrying on. Monster Magnet, Into the Void. You heard what I thought about that. So we're going to finish off this album now. Now this one was interesting and different. Busta Rhymes. So right there, that's different. Performing Iron Man, This Means War. So it's basically Busta Rhymes sampling Iron Man. Ozzy even sings on here. Like they basically, if I remember correctly, they get the whole band together for doing this particular version of the song. Or they've got Ozzy doing vocals and they're sampling, so they're crediting the rest of the band. I'm not 100% sure. Busta's not doing the lyrics at all for Iron Man, okay? So let's get that out of your head. Really good cover. Busta Rhymes is one of the few rappers I truly enjoy. I like his delivery. I like the way he is. He's a poetic warrior. I really do believe that. The way that, what's the word they use? The way he likes to spit his rhymes. I think he's a poetic warrior. You know, he's definitely got that vibe to him. And you know, I'm not huge into rap, but props where props are due. You know what I'm saying? And it's a really good way to finish out this album. Now, the whole way around, do I listen to this album anywhere near as often as I listen to the original Nativity in Black? Hell no. Realistically, I throw this one on every once in a while. Like I'll throw on Nativity in Black, you know, at least, regularly, and then I'll grab this one and throw it in. You know, for every 10 plays Nativity in Black gets, this might get one. Just gonna be like, let's listen to the other one and see how that goes. You know, play them both back to back today. If you find it, if you're into the bands that are on here, you might really dig this. I think that's the biggest thing that throws me off with this album is most of the bands that are on here, I really was never into. I'm still not really into. A lot of them, Machine Head, I've never been a fan of. Static X, I've never been a fan of. System of a Down, I have an appreciation for, and I do like the stuff that they do, but it's an appreciation, a respect and admiration as a fellow musician towards other musicians, but it's not a fanship. It's not I'm into their music kind of thing. Megadeth, hey, Megadeth's cool. You know, you can't go wrong with Megadeth, right? It's just Pantera. You heard my views on here already of Pantera. Primus, I love Primus. Who doesn't love some Primus? And I do got to get into some Primus. I don't think I've covered any of them yet. Slayer, same thing. You know, if I was into Slayer, I'd probably dig it more. Soulfly, same thing. If I was into Soulfly, I would dig it more. Hed PE, I don't really know Hed PE that much. Not my thing. Monster Magnet, I really got to invest in some Monster Magnet. So if you're watching this, tell me a Monster Magnet album I have to go out and buy. I need some Monster Magnet. And then Busta Rhymes. Busta Rhymes is cool. You know? So those are my thoughts on this album. This album is more of a greatest hits than the original N.I.B. was. And I think that's one of the reasons why this is also more experimental than the original N.I.B. was. Experimental meaning variations from the original source material. Anyways, those are my views. Leave me your comments. Let me know what you think. Once again, Monster Magnet suggestions would be cool. Otherwise, Hit subscribe so you get notifications. Peace, love, and take care.